This video will be different than what I usually post, but horror and the paranormal have always been a high interest for me, as I've had so many creepy and unexplainable incidents. This story has always been one that freaks me out, even to this day as an adult. It's a story that happened to me when I was still in elementary school, and loved playing with electronic toys that spoke or made sounds from the press of a button. This is the story of strange noises that these toys shouldn't have made. I remember when I was fascinated with the military, with all the cool guns and tanks that were made into toy form. I, like many of the kids, had little green army men toys that I'd spend hours playing with, creating my own fictional war. But I wasn't satisfied with the simplicity they offered. I needed something cooler, bigger, and louder. That's when I got my hands on an electric toy military jet. The ones that made sounds from pressing one of the buttons. It had 3 buttons for 3 different types of sounds. One was for the engine, another was for the weapons, and the other was for a combination of the two. I played with this toy for hours, days, even weeks, and I eventually memorized each and every sound it made, until one day something changed. I pressed one of the buttons, expecting the typical engine sound, but instead I heard a voice. It was a man's voice, and was listing off numbers and some words that I wasn't able to make out since I wasn't prepared to hear the strange voice. I was mostly confused rather than scared, so curiously I tried repressing the buttons, trying to get the voice to repeat, but eventually walking away with nothing but failure. About a month or so later, I visited one of my good friends, and he began to show me his electronic Star Wars ship, which also made sounds from pressing buttons. He began pressing buttons, and the typical sounds played. I told my friend what had happened to me with my toy jet, and he said he has never experienced anything like that. Until, as if on command or we were being listened to, he pressed a button on the Star Wars toy, and it released a male's voice, listing words, but no numbers this time. But it sounded like a different voice from what I heard before. My friend eventually told me that toy never made that sound before, so we tried getting it to play again, but nothing. Years later, I was reminded of these 2 incidents, and I wondered if anything similar ever happened to anyone else, so I began my research. Nothing. Not a single thing. And I am ultimately left with nothing but questions.